So today we talked about how do you develop relationships? How do you grow in relationships? Because you see, we always recreate what we have learned. We recreate the past. So if we have learned a certain model of relationships through our parents, we will always be seeking to recreate that same experience because it's what we know. Now the thing is, the whole thing of relationships is to give yourself a chance to heal, and it's a mirror. It's a way, a path through which you're reflected to yourself by your partner what in you is not healthy, what in you is not working, is on hold, let's say. You can see how triggered you become, how angry, how demanding, how tight, how irrational you become, right? Because whenever you do something, right, there's always a choice. Are you doing this from a childish energy or from an adult energy, right? Whatever you do, in whatever situation, you can just write it out. What is the childish way to deal with this? And what is the adult way to deal with this? It sounds very simple, but it's very easy to miss. Because unconsciously, whenever we're living in reaction, usually it's coming from the child. And the child is usually confused, it's usually afraid, it's usually angry. So it wants to change the other, but it doesn't want to be changed, right? Because all the child wants is to get from the other what it didn't receive from the parents. I didn't get the love, so I'm gonna get the love from you that I didn't get, right? So the child is always seeking to and needing to get something that it didn't receive. And if that's driving you, you're actually living unconscious relationships. So what is like a way to go through relationships? In the beginning, when you will go through a relationship, you will see that you will make a lot of mistakes, and it will be triggering for you because you will realize, what do I like about this? What don't I like about this? What is nice? What is not nice? By learning the dynamics of being in a relationship, by relating to each other, making agreements, doing things together, depending on each other, you feel for yourself what you like, what you don't like. You feel the limitation of all the constructs, of all the structures that are there. And it's also very revealing because you see your own false beliefs or false ideas about how you should be in a relationship, because your partner will let you know that this is not okay, but you think it is, and why. So you're being challenged. It's like my coach says, we're always getting the worst partner so that we can heal the deepest hurt that we have, right? So we attract the worst partner. So in the beginning, you have a lot of unconscious material, and you're meeting a person and you interact, and all the unconscious material is coming up. So then you have an opportunity to either blame the other person that he's not behaving the way you want the person to behave, and seek another person who's not gonna, let's say, who's not gonna blame you, but who will behave the way you want them to behave, right? So you try to seek alternate partners who are more suitable to how you are. You think there's nothing wrong with me. This may go on for a while, but then you will get a point where you realize there's a pattern. You always do the same thing in a relationship. You always repeat the same patterns. You always repeat the same mistakes. And somewhere in the repetition, you realize this is not working. Something in me is not working. It's almost automatic, and I don't understand it. And my coach says, whatever we repeat means we haven't understood something there. So what do? The moment you become aware of material that is unconscious in you, big stuff or patterns, go to either an integrative coach or someone who does shadow work or someone who does deconstructive work, transpersonal coaching or reconstructive. There are a lot of many systems, and work with it. Work with those teams. By working with those teams, you will see what is the root cause of each unconscious pattern or each unconscious belief or misconception about relationships, about feelings, about yourself, about your partner, about how they should be, right? About what you're really looking for in them. Then, when you have integrated something, when you have a relationship, if it's ongoing or a new one, you will see you're different. You feel the dynamics have shifted. I'm different. I'm not as needy anymore. I'm not as clingy anymore. I'm not as demanding anymore. There will be other issues. You will have troubles maybe being vulnerable or making agreements or other things. I mean, there's a lot of things. For instance, not wanting to do what a partner is asking you to do, or not wanting to give more than you receive. Right? There's always like some kind of conditioned. Everything is conditioned. You do this, I do that. You don't do this, I don't do that. So there are a lot of themes. And every time what you do is you take that material, you go to a specialist, and you work through it. You can also do this on your own problem, but to work with somebody is better because they're subjective. They're not involved in it. So they can objectively show you where your trigger points, where your false beliefs, where your false ideas are. Because sometimes it's almost like it's hard to see how stupid we are. Not stupid in the sense that we're dumb, but stupid in the sense that, or let's not use the word stupid, ignorant. We don't know what we don't know, right? And by making mistakes, by going through these experiments with relationships, we learn about our mistakes. And some people, they settle for it. They're like, this is how I am. I don't care. They just find someone who they can live with, and they survive. They hold it out. But they're not really free. My coach says the purpose of each person is to become like a butterfly. So you're a person, right? And you're like a tube through which energy is streaming. When you're fully clear and when you have your own self-worth, where you're not depending on somebody, the energy of life can stream through you in a majestic way and give to the world whatever it can give, right? Here is the beauty. Here is my gift. Here is the thing. Not wanting validation, wanting anything in return. It's like the creation is just unfolding itself, and it's just giving off the fruits. I'm an apple tree, so I give apples. I don't want anything in return for it. I whether you like it or you don't like it, doesn't matter to me. I'm an apple tree. I give apples. This is what I do. That's like the purpose, right? To be a self-sufficient, productive, or let's say an alive being who's shining, who's being fruitful. With fruitful, I mean who's not blocked in himself to express himself, who's expressing his own uniqueness, his own I-ness. What in him is urging him to be, to express, is longing. So that's a whole process on itself. But in relationships, what will happen after a while is this. As you come together with a partner, and you work through more and more stuff, you will become so honest and sincere about yourself, about your own shit, that you won't take any shit from the other. You will say, I'm doing my part, I'm doing my 50%, you do your 50%. So you have to share the responsibility for a relationship because there are two people. You do your part, I'll do my part. And you won't tolerate bullshit because you know for you what you value. Because after a lot of trials and errors, you will realize what I really value is vulnerability, honesty, commitment, love, or let's say support in that kind of way, or a certain kind of uh, attention. Whatever you value, right? You will know what you value. So for you, you will start to love yourself enough to give those things to yourself. And when you are giving yourself those things and you're living your life, after a while, you won't attract people who don't embody what you love. You will mostly attract people who are already embodying what you are embodying. Like attracts like. If you have a needy part in you that needs certain things, you will find partners and you will be attracted to them unconsciously because they will fulfill certain needs that you have. But if you have your own self-worth, if you dealt with your issues, with your unconscious patterns, with your unconscious needs, then you're whole. And that means you can meet another being, see them for who they are, and realize, I want to share time with you. I want to play with you. I want to share moments with you. And it's a co-creation. You're co-creating together from wholeness. And that other person usually will also be at a higher level of consciousness. It will be a person who's done the work, the same work that you have done. And then it will be a different kind of relationship. It will be not coming out of reactivity and demands and constraints and anger and frustration. It will be about honesty and commitment and serving the relationship, right? Because the relationship is serving you both. So you have to make it a priority. It's like one of the hardest things to do. Being free in relationship. Freedom in relationship. Because for that you have to have your own self-worth and you have to just be able to be, not depend on the other. So yeah, I'm going through that now. I can talk about it openly. I've done many different kind of relationships where I was the perpetrator, where I was the victim, where I was the savior. You can play any of these roles. And I was looking for a mommy that never gave me intimacy. So I was looking for women who mostly had daddy issues and wanted a dad, right? Somebody to control them. And I wanted somebody who was always with me and give me the intimacy that I needed. So after learning about that and realizing this isn't me, right? I attracted this person. I became involved with this person because unconsciously I sought out these things. Right? Beyond my consciousness, my impulses, my desires, my thoughts, they were like guiding me towards this person because unconsciously I know this is the person that I need to fulfill these needs. So after working through that, you realize the thing that kept us together, you have unlearned that and we're not compatible anymore. You realize I don't want in my life to tolerate unconscious patterns, unconscious relationships. If I don't need to, why would I put myself through that if I have outgrown that, if I have healed that in myself? Why would you play loud, scratchy music if you know you don't appreciate it? Why would you keep playing that? You just turned off and you say, I'm not gonna play that. I'm gonna play something else, something beautiful, something classical, some romance, some whatever. So you will be very honest about it and you will seek out other partners with whom you will be very sincere, very open, and you will let your intentions know where you are at, what you want, and what you can give, what you can bring, what you bring. And then the other person will meet you. And then you will learn from there, because every time where you, let's say, learn and you go deeper, there's an opportunity to go even deeper and deeper and deeper. And you know what the beautiful thing about this is? The deeper you can go in a relationship, the deeper the dimension of love and intimacy and closeness, being with somebody that you can experience. So by working, by healing through it all, you are actually opening up your own experience in the dimension of love and connection and understanding yourself, understanding the other, right? And it's a beautiful life experience, because most people, they stay on the surface. They never go into the deep. But in the deep, it's almost magic. There's so many great things there. There's real trust, real vulnerability, real living instead of real surviving. So yeah,